In this tutorial, we're going to look at how you can use text on a path to create the design on screen. So let's get started. Text on a path can be created from any shape, line or curve on your page. These are usually created using the pen tool, the pencil tool, the vector brush tool or one of the shape tools. We'll dive straight in by converting the circle on the back wheel to path text. Select the circle and then select the Art Text tool. I'm just going to zoom into the object using Command-Shift-0. As you bring your cursor close to the line, you can see that the cursor changes. This indicates that the next operation will convert our object to path text. So simply click and your object has been converted to text on a path. From here we can change the general text formatting, such as the font, the size and the style, such as bold, italic and underline. You can also access the full range of attributes by clicking Character or Paragraph. We'll look at some of the other options on the context toolbar later on in this tutorial. So now we've got the format of our text set, it's simply a case of typing the words you want to appear on the path. And just to improve our design, I'm going to select individual characters and colour them differently. So simply select the letter I want to colour, and from the swatches tab I'll select a swatch. As well as typing text, you can also paste in text which has been copied previously. So I'll show you that now. So I'll copy the text using Command C and then paste it using Command V. As you can see, as we reach a certain point on the path, the text wraps underneath on the inside of the circle. Because our text is wrapped on this shape, we actually have two paths along the circle. The ends of these paths are defined by the small orange triangles. We can redefine the length of the path by simply dragging the orange triangles. If you use the Shift key while dragging an endpoint, it will maintain the distance between the two ends, as I'll demonstrate here. As you can see, as you drag, the endpoints stay equidistant apart. And of course you can rotate the whole shape using the rotate handle at the top of the selection box. Now as we have two paths on this object, we can actually change attributes of each of the paths separately. So I'm going to select the top path and I'm going to change the baseline on the context toolbar. If you click the pop-up here, you'll notice that the slider has certain snapping points which you can use. At this snapping point here, the ascenders on the outer edge are in line with the descenders on the inner edge. Now we'll look at another way of creating text on a path by concentrating on the front wheel. So we'll select the front wheel and then zoom in. And from the layer menu, we can select Convert to Text Path. Again, we can paste the text and it will move around our path. Now this time you can see, once our text reaches the end of the path, it wraps onto the inside of the circle going in the opposite direction. Again, we can redefine the length of the path by dragging the orange triangles. If we use the Command modifier key, it will move the endpoints symmetrically. So hold down the Command key and drag. And we'll add some more text. As the ascenders on both paths are crossing over, I'm going to adjust the baseline to bring the lower one out. I'm going to drag the endpoints again using the Command key to keep them symmetrical. And I'm going to use the Shift key to drag to keep them in place. And then I'm going to rotate the entire object to allow a gap for the forks to come through. the wheels on our bike look a bit unbalanced, as the front wheel has 2 layers and the back wheel only has 1. So I'm going to show you how to resize path text by creating a second layer for the back wheel. If we select the path text and use Command J, we'll duplicate that object. And I'm going to zoom in again. We can resize our object using a corner handle. As we drag, you can see the text reflows along the path. And if we hold Command and Shift as we drag, the object shape is constrained and it resizes around the center. I'm going to reduce the amount of words that are on the path by double-clicking the text and deleting it. I'm going to reposition the endpoints to tidy up the design. Next, we're going to move on to the cassette. We'll convert this to art text by selecting the object and using the art text tool, hovering close to the edge and then clicking once. I'm going to zoom in again and paste our text. Again, I'm going to reposition the path endpoints. As you can see, as you drag the endpoint, there's snapping positions along the path that allow you to accurately position the endpoints of your path. Now, the lowercase lettering worked really well for our wheels, creating tread design for the outer wheels. But for the remainder of the design, I'm going to use uppercase to keep a consistent look across the bike. We can do this by selecting all the text, and then from the text menu, from capitalization pop-up, use all caps. And our text is now converted to all caps. I'm going to copy that with Command C to use later on, and reposition the endpoints to improve the design. I'll need to resize my object to get the full benefit. I'm going to zoom out a bit to see what I'm doing, and resize again. Another option we have on the context toolbar is to reverse the path, where the endpoints of the path switch place. If you click this, you can see that the text has realigned from being on the outer edge to the inner edge of our circle. We can now reposition our text to improve our design. Now I'm going to show you another way that you can resize path text to create the chainring at the center of the bike. I'm going to select the front wheel and make a copy of this using Command J. I'm just going to move it up here so we can work with it in isolation and zoom in. If I select the art text tool, you can see that it automatically positions a cursor at the beginning of our path text object. I'm going to select all the text using Command A and then paste our uppercase text into it instead. As you can see, our text overlaps quite inconveniently. So if we resize our object, the text on the path will reflow to improve the look. Now, in contrast to that, you can use this scaling handle, which extends from one of the corner handles of our object. When we drag this, the object will scale rather than reflow. As you can see, the text on the path has resized and shrunk as we've resized our object. We'll reposition our object so it becomes a chainring. If we zoom in, we can select the original object and delete that. Now let's work on some of the other areas of the bike. We'll convert the seat to path text using the art text tool in the same way that we did the other shapes. We'll paste our text and we'll change the baseline to give it a bit of breathing room. We'll select the seat tube and again use the art text tool to convert this to path text. We'll zoom in. Now, I don't like how this overlaps here, and so I'm going to shrink the text by selecting it all using Command A, and then from the context toolbar I'll change the measurement. We're going to convert the handlebars and forks into path text in the same way as we've done previously. And we'll zoom in again. The path of path text can be modified at any time using the node tool. Simply select the node tool and then you can drag your path to change the design. This gives you maximum flexibility when working with path text. Next we'll look at the frame of our bike. Because the seat stays, chain stays, are straight lines, I'm going to use standard art text to create those. But I'm going to convert the rest of the frame into path text. So simply select it, and from the Layer menu, select Convert to Text Path. I'm going to paste some text and then show you how, again, we can modify the path once it's been converted to path text. I'm going to zoom in and use the Node tool. Select nodes and we can delete them to improve the text path. Selecting the Art Text tool will allow us to then carry on editing the text on our text path. I'm going to reposition the path endpoints to improve the design. I'm going to remove this final word as a final tidy up. So to create our seat stays, our chain stays, and the pedal, I'm just going to use standard artistic text. So simply select the Art Text tool, click anywhere on your page, and paste your text. If we press Escape, it jumps to the Move tool, and we can reposition our text as needed. Once you've finished your design, you can then neaten it up using the Move tool. A really handy tip when you're rotating objects is to use the Control key to pin the opposite corner handle, like so. And there we have our finished design. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll check out some of our other tutorials for Affinity Designer. Thanks for watching.